Hello, hello. How are you? All right. So we're going to do a live Q&A like I said that we were going to do yesterday on the live. And I'm excited about it. So I hope you guys brought your questions. I'm also going to be going back to the group and answering some of the questions that have been posted over on the group so that they get answered. And then what I'm going to be doing is, as I'm talking to you, I'm going to be noting in the group that I responded to that question live. So I'm, really excited about doing that. And I'm excited about talking to you more. Okay. So, So we're going to go from there. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. All right. So with moving forward, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. After that, you're an oldie but goodie and you post a 2 below. Okay. So if you're on YouTube or if you're on the Facebook group or if you're on the Facebook page, go ahead and do that and tell us where you are from. Okay. If you're on the group, this is important. I'm going to post right now the link so that I can see and you guys are going to have to get used to this because I'm going to be doing Q&As a lot more now that I'm wrapping up the membership. Thank God, because it has taken everything out of me. I've been exhausted. But I'm excited because I'm getting away from, I don't know how I'm going to get away from it, being in the IEP meeting, but it's not going to happen. I mean, it's just not. But, my goal is to teach others how to kick ass in the IEP meeting. That's the goal, is to teach all of you how to become your own advocate and do what I do to get shit done, period. Okay? So, and like I said yesterday, let me pull this darn chair up, it doesn't happen overnight. And, like I've said, I've had cases that they last, 90 days, 3 to 4 months, or up to 9 to 10 months, okay, depending on the district. I think it's funny that they blame me, but they're the ones who are being assholes. And, because the first meeting is, getting evaluations together, talking about that, and that can take up to 30 days to get that meeting. No more than 30 days. And then they have to do the evaluations and they get 60 days to do that. So there's 3 months right there. And then there's 2 other meetings, usually 3 to 4 other meetings, if they're nice and they want to work together. And if they're transparent about the child's needs and what needs to happen in order for those needs to be met, right? So if you guys have questions, go ahead and post them. I just posted the streamyard.com/Facebook. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you guys can see it in the group. If not, here, I'll post it right now. And I'm going to be answering some questions from the group. And if you guys have questions yourselves, just go ahead and post them and I will answer them. All right. So make sure to post your questions because I will get to them. Okay. All right. Hi, BB. How are you? Hi, Cynthia. You're so not new. Hi, Michelle. How are you? All right. And I know it's like a Friday, so I know there's not probably going to be a lot of people, but that's okay. All right. So first question. And some of them are actually from my live. So if I didn't answer them, are you on the group, Cynthia? I don't know if you're on the group or not. I don't see where people are. I just see that I'm live in the group and the page and YouTube. So that's all I know. But I did post the link at the top of the group. So if that helps. And it's also at the top of the page, of the Facebook page. Okay, so if you need that. Okay, so questions. All right. So I answered some questions yesterday in reference to Karen. Those were very interesting. And so here's another question.
I want to lie.
I am Sky.
I'll take a seat.
Okay. So I cannot pronounce her name really well. Vershaka Greta Ayala Goodall Parker. Okay. So she says, I have custody of my 7-year-old nonverbal nephew with many behavioral issues. I have an ABA. So I'm guessing he's getting ABA, and was approved for in school. Okay. So yeah, he's getting ABA therapy in school. For in-school support 1-to-1 for the entire day. Okay. Now the school met and is saying they only want the one-on-one there for half the day. Can they do this? The hours were approved by an insurance company. Is this not medical necessity? Can they reduce the hours of ABA support when the ABA is not even part of the school district? I do upset. She's Hispanic, so the writing is a little bit off, but I totally understand it. I'm so upset. It has taken me a year calling every ABA around till I found one that accepts the medical insurance and all the observations and surveys, and they changed the amount of support. Is there anything I can do? Okay, so the answer to that is, I think it's great that you got the 1-to-1 and that you got the behavior support. Okay. So that's the key thing to remember is you got it. There was a reason that you got it. Okay. I don't know that reason, but you got it. Okay. So hold that over here for a second. All right. So I'm going to answer this step by step. Now the school met, I'm assuming with you. I don't know. You didn't tell me, but if it was with you as an equal participant, what happened and what did you say? Did you argue for the behavior support and the ABA therapy? I'm assuming it's ABA therapy, and one-on-one for the entire day. So that's a little bit off. So you have ABA that you mentioned, and then you mentioned a 1-on-1. So is it a ABA therapist and one-on-one who's with the child all day, or is it he gets ABA and then he gets a one-on-one as well? I'm a little confused with that. But in moving forward, they can propose to reduce from a full day to a half day. Okay. And, just so that you guys know, if you are on YouTube or you are on the page, I'm only answering one more question before I hop over to just my group. So if you are not a part of my group right now, you want to stop what you're doing and you want to go join the group. I have my phone beside me to accept you. All right. Because my Q&As are typically for my group, but I've been bringing in the page and YouTube so that you guys can learn about the group because I have a lot of new people following. So I wanted to give you kind of a tidbit of it, a little bit, to kind of give you an idea of what Q&As are about, where people can ask questions at any time during the live, but I'm also answering questions from the group that people post all the time. Okay. So the group link is in the group, and then it's also, if you're part of the group, it is but it's in the page and it's on, I can put it right here I'll put it in the comments. That's what I'll do. So hold on. I'll do it real quick, but it's also on the page. Okay. So it is on the page. All right. So if you're on the group, definitely click the StreamYard link, okay, that I posted earlier. I'm just posting the group link. So if you guys want to join the group, go ahead and do that, because I will be getting off of the page and the YouTube and just be going live on the group for a Q&A. That's when I do a Q&A just for my group. So if you're on the page or you're on YouTube right now, click the link to join the group. I will accept you on my phone and you will be part of this. But in a little bit, I will be getting off of the page and YouTube. All right. So she goes on to say, so here's the thing with them proposing. They can't just say, oh, we're going to just go to half day. It doesn't work like that. So they can propose at the IEP meeting to go to half day, and then you discuss it and collaborate and you come up with what you come up with. They agree or they don't, but then you need to ensure that they put it into the PWN. All right. We are taking away full day, one-on-one or ABA or whatever it is, and they are proposing a half a day. Okay. And that it was denied by the parent. Okay. So that has to be noted. All right. It has to be said and put in writing if there's no agreement. Okay. Then you can pursue mediation. You can pursue due process and mediation together. You can do what you need to do in order to get that handled. Okay. I always encourage, another meeting, if not two, to kind of hash it out, and if more assessments or assessing needs to be done, then do that too, but there's a lot of things that are kind of going into this. The other thing that I want to mention in regards to this question, and here, I don't know if I can post the question. I guess I can't because it's not on here. Or I guess I could. Let me see if this will work. So then you guys can see the question, Let's see if it'll work. If it works, it's going to be really cool. All right, hold on. I don't know if it will, though, because it doesn't post everything. Yeah, I'll try it later when I'm practicing or something. All right. So then she goes on to say that it had to be approved by insurance. I don't know why it had to be approved by insurance, because if it's needed for the child, it needs to come out of the damn school's budget, not your insurance, not you going through the hell of, insurance paying for it. That's crazy. No. If it was needed, then the school pays for it, not the insurance. Okay? And they need to accept that responsibility instead of make you go through all those hoops. Then you say, can they reduce the hours? The answer is yes, but again, you have options. Okay, it's not just a yes and done. It's over. Okay, there's quite a few options there, but I really need that answer of, is it ABA therapy they're taking away, or is it a one-on-one they're taking away, or is it ABA therapist that is the one-on-one? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay, and you know what I can do, guys? Let me see. I'm going to see if I can share my screen with y'all. It's this one. Yeah. All right. Tell me if you can see this. Can you see that? So that's the question I'm answering. Okay. So then it says, can they reduce the hours of ABA support and the ABA? So the ABA is where she's throwing me off. I'm assuming that is just ABA therapy, but it could be an ABA therapist. I don't know. And she's upset. It's taken me a year calling every ABA. Yeah, that's shit. They made her run around and then they're trying to take it. It's just not cool. So I'm going to comment and I'm going to say, I answered, can't spell for crap, your question. Look, see? Live. If you have any questions, let me know. And so her name is Brush. Let's see if I can add her name. So she's tagged. There we go. All right. Now she knows that we answered her live. Okay. All right. So let's move down. See some other questions. Did you guys see this video? It was great. All right. Here we go. So Alma says, my teen is under grade level. We filed a state complaint. They found them not in compliance. Nevertheless, no real educational change has occurred. I'm thinking of filing an OCR complaint next. Please advise. Well, we can't really advise because we don't know what happened. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what this person said. Okay. So, we have to stand them if they would. Yeah. Okay. So with this question, her teenager is below grade level. They filed a state complaint. They found them not in compliance. So what I want to know is when they were found in non-compliance by the state always has to then have the district rectify the situation. Now, I will say straight up, I don't make a whole lot of state complaints anymore. I made a shit ton when my daughter was younger, which is definitely what got me where I am today. And the promise that I stuck by of I will make you do so much paperwork your head will spin and you will want me gone literally because you just will not want to see my face ever again. But it's like to get to that point was just so unhealthy. And there's ways to play the game in a healthier way. But you guys got to understand it is a game. So anybody that tells you it's not is lying to you because you have this, I cannot tell you how many situations I deal with where children are way behind 3, 4, 5 years and the school doesn't want to do shit about it. That's not okay. It's just not. And anybody who thinks it is or wants to still get along with the school when they bullshitted you this whole time and you're finding out that your child is 3, 4, 5 years behind and that's supposed to be awesome. That's supposed to be okay. It's not. It's not okay. Stop allowing it to happen. There has to come a point where people put their foot down and no longer accept the things that are happening. And here's the thing is I always say to people, you know what, you can do whatever you want to me. You fuck with my kid and that's going to be it. And excuse my language, but it's so true. It's so true. Okay. And that it would be any of my kids. I have 3. But Skylar is the one with autism. And I'll tell you, if anyone ever messed with my kids, God help them. And so I feel that as a parent, of anything that we get angry about, that is it. Okay? Anything extremely important regarding our children. Okay? Because they are children. They cannot always speak for themselves and now they have special needs. So they definitely don't have the voice that is necessary in order to do that or is unable to generate those feelings in order to deliver them in the right way. And if we have to do it, then we do it at first, sure, kindly. but my patients are only so thin. All right. My patients actually are great with kids, but with adults, I don't do dumb. I don't do dumb. I don't do games. And, I was one hell of a 20-plus-year-old, and I did all kinds of crazy things. I never got into drugs, but I snuck out of the house when I was a teenager. I had straight A's and stuff, but I was told that I wouldn't graduate high school because, I started skipping school. We were allowed to leave fifth period, and I didn't want to go to fifth period. And we had fifth, sixth, seventh period, and I didn't want to go. I wanted to go home and hang out. And so, I was a hellion through my 20s, even early 30s. Took me a long time. And so my thing is like, you can't, I played that stuff. You're playing games with someone who played a lot of games back in the day, and then went through hell with her own daughter. And, I was telling one of my parents the other day that that's where my passion comes from, is that hell. It's almost like I don't know how to explain it. It just comes, and it's one of those things where I get emotional about it because I get so angry that these are things that happen to kids, that one-on-ones are taken away. And don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of one-on-ones if they're not needed, because children with special needs specifically do not need to get and gain a dependence on any one person. So I'm actually not one that will fight for a one-on-one unless it's absolutely necessary. All right. Without a shadow of a doubt, necessary. Right. So that child needs a one-on-one because of safety and behavior and focus, and their grades are being impacted, and, not just going by what is being told to you. Oh, we have paras in the room, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I've personally had paras in my room. I've seen paras in the room, and, you got your good paras and you got your bad paras. And, from some of the things I've seen on TikTok, and so I don't have a lot of faith in the fact that you got paras in your room. I sometimes don't have faith in the fact that you're taking data. And, so there's so many things that go into play. And then, you have these things that happen, and the state has to take responsibility. So you can actually hold the state accountable for something not happening. Now, after every state complaint, you have to meet as a team within 30 days. Okay? You have to meet as a team within 30 days. And if your state complaint was found, okay, like you said, they were not in compliance, I'm assuming, actually, I don't even know. It says under grade level is all it says. So if it's under grade level, then that would be a denial of FAPE. So I'm assuming that you won because they were non-compliance of a denial of FAPE. I don't know, Alma. But, what's super important is having the school, you'll see on your state complaint, what is it the school had to do within a period of time because they were in non-compliance. And you need to make sure that that was done. And they have to then send it to the state. The school does, and has to send it to the state that they're now in compliance. And you can ask for a copy of what they did to be back in compliance, and that they met with you within the 30-day period. Here, I'm trying to, so that you can rectify, and they can rectify the situation. Okay. I got your questions, guys. I'm going to answer them. So keep posting them. All right. I just want to get through these first. All right. So does everybody have, oops, we talked about continuing. Okay. So this person, I don't have your picture. See, that's why you have to click that link with the StreamYard. I will post it again. All right. I always put it here. Okay. All right. Okay, I posted it again. All right, the StreamYard.com/ hold on, it's right here. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Not the dots after. I don't know why that happened. So just go to streamyard.com/Facebook. All right. And then I'll be able to see you on the group. Okay. So if you're not on the group, go join. All right. And if you want to post, okay, I'm good, that'd be awesome. And then I'll get off here because I'm not trying to stay on the page. Okay. So do that because I don't know who this person is who's asking me questions. Hi, Kristen. How are you? All right. So Cynthia says, is a school system not supposed to teach a child the way they learn? SPED director noticed Linda Mood Bell using errorless learning and questioned it. Then in IEP meeting, she stated this willingness is what she believes was why no progress in school, but progress in Linda Mood Bell. I just don't understand why, if she was aware of errorless learning, why did the director allow him to suffer instead of instructing SPED teacher to try errorless learning? He has one on SPED, so it wasn't found by other students. Okay. So she's continuing what she's saying by saying she's focusing on therapies right now, but want to put my 4-year-old in specialized pre-K program in the fall. The recommended program for him is a 5-hour program. It was a lot for him when we tried it 2020-21. He only went last 2 months. Okay. Is this the child that's at Linda Mood Bell? We talked about continuing through the summer. It was shorted day they offered, but then learned the therapy time. Well, if you're at the the Charlotte Linda Mood Bell, I know her very well. She's amazing. So I can talk to her. She doesn't like the school systems either because they don't teach the kids reading. What's his name? That one show. I'll have to find out his name. Hardy something show. I'll show you it. I'm gonna show you the video. That 80s in DC, Charlotte, Texas, New York. I mean, it's almost every state he went through where it was between 83 to 86% of children, and he was talking during this time about minorities, but that did not disqualify, children that aren't minorities. He was just at the time speaking of minorities. And to have 83 to, I don't care who it is, 83 to 86% of children, I'm looking for the videos, sorry, only have the ability, so basically what's that? 15%, 14% of children today are literate and the rest of the children are illiterate is what he was saying, and that's just not okay. And something has to be done about that. And people have got to wake up. I'm almost there. I have so many pictures. I have like 13,000 pictures on my freaking phone. It's crazy. Like, what the hell? All right. Does somebody want to come handle this? Because it gives me anxiety. All right. What's his name? Armstrong. Here, let me see if you can hear.
It's very startling as we talk about education in America.
He was talking about education in America.
South Carolina. In the state of New York, 88% of Black children cannot do basic math and are functionally illiterate. In the state of California, the biggest state in our nation, 87% of Black children cannot do basic math. The state of New York, of black children cannot do basic math and are functionally illiterate. In the state of California, the biggest state in our nation, 87% of black children cannot do basic math. Of black children cannot do basic math, and 91% are functionally illiterate.
Crazy, right? Yeah. So that's Armstrong. It's the Armstrong Williams show. And he always has interesting stuff. It's Armstrong Williams. And he's always got interesting stuff. And I just happened that day to hit my channel went to that. And I was like, oh my God, I got to record this because this is genius, you know, in showing school districts that I don't care what it is that you're saying. These are facts. And I mean, he showed the facts. He showed the numbers. He showed everything on the show. And, you know, it's unfortunate. So in regards to the FAPE violation, I'm assuming that Alma has, I'm going to comment to her that we answered her live. Too bad it's spelling. You guys can see what I'm writing, right? Here. Oh, sorry. Here you go. You kind of see what I'm writing. The district handled the situation per the request of the state. OCR will not pick up the case. All right. So basically what I'm saying to her is that if her state complaint was founded and they were in non-compliance, I'm assuming, because she just said it was under grade level. So my guess is, it was vape, So my response being, that OCR can only be filed if it was a violation and non-compliant, and the non-compliance was in regards to services, accommodations, modifications. And if the state handled the situation, for example, told the school district to do X, X, and X, and that should be in the response to the state complaint where they founded the complaint. So if the complaint was founded on that piece of paper that you got, it should state what the district has to do in order to rectify and be in compliance regarding whatever it was that they were in non-compliance for. Now, a lot of times I call this a slap on the hand because it is very vague, and how the state is very vague a lot of times, and how they are wanting the school districts to be in compliance. And so what happens is they will say, okay, you need to hold a meeting within 30 days to discuss compensatory services, or you have to, and possibly come into agreement with that, or, oh, you have to, provide what's necessary in order for the child to bridge the gap in a more effective and appropriate and accommodating way. But the thing with this is when you make a state, I always tell people, think it out, because you of course always want to go fed, right? So that's FERPA request. You request a basically their scholastic record, their whole record, and from start to finish, or it could be certain dates, it could just be a year, whatever it is you want. Like I have a book, you guys are going to get it in my membership. So, you're going to get a lot of things in my membership, but, in me teaching you how to be advocates yourself and how to kick some ass in the IEP meeting. And that's not physical. Okay. And I, want you to know how to request a really good FERPA request. Okay. And then it's also a way for them to just fail. So it's almost like you're setting them up, which is not a bad thing. Okay. So it's not like, oh, let me set you up because I'm going to nail you. It's not that attitude. It's not. It really, truly isn't. It's the attitude of, these are the things I want. These are the things that you're supposed to be keeping. These are the things legally on FERPA website. I'm not an attorney, but it's on the website. Okay. Just like IDEA. Okay. Just like my nice legal book, I have the one because both, I have family members, as I've told you, that are attorneys. So I have the law one, and this is a special education one. It's huge. Okay. And I'm sorry, but the law is the law, and you have to make sure that they give you every single last thing. And it has to be part of data that is taken. It cannot just be, oh, this is what I observed. I observed blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, I could observe too, and I'm going to see something different. Mom can observe too, and she's going to see something different too. We all have different thoughts and opinions on different things. So what makes your observation better than mine would be, or what mom's would be? Just saying. So it's subjective. All right. I want something tangible. Okay. Teachers need to be taking data. I mean, it is what it is, y'all. Yeah, the state needs to pay them more, but it still doesn't change what's required, and they got to take data. Data. You can't write present levels without data, which is why present levels suck, because data is not taken. Okay. Does your present levels, are they like a little paragraph? Or are they a bigger paragraph of bullshit just to kind of fib you into believing there's a lot there? I mean, they'll go both ways, so who knows? But you need to pay attention to that. Okay? So with the non-compliance, it's great they were founded. And here's the thing, is keep making the complaints. I did it almost every 30 days they violated. I kept making complaints. I mean, I nailed them on everything. So I got to the point where, okay, I wasn't always a bitch, y'all. Okay, with IEP stuff, I'm not a bitch outside of IEP stuff. So, everybody has their breaking point. All right. So when you're like, oh my God, Raven's crazy. Have you ever heard her? She knows her stuff, but oh my God, she's nuts. All right. I've gotten that. People laugh at it because they're the ones who have hired me and they're like, I used to think you were nuts. And then this is what happened. And then I believed you. Once you start advocating, the truth starts coming out, okay, of what's going on. All right. Right, Cynthia? Cynthia's a great advocate for her kids. And she doesn't take bullshit, and she has learned as she's gone. And, when I worked with her, then she learned even more and she just ran with it. And so, that's why the membership's going to be amazing for so many people, because they're going to be able to really run with some things that they can use right away. All right. So hopefully, Alma, that answers your question. All right. And then going back to this one, like I was just saying to Cynthia, I'll call the Linda Mood Bell, but at the same time, speech is more built, but still only 15. Oh, but you may have to sign that paper, Cynthia, so that I can talk to her, or that she'll talk to me. She just won't talk to me in reference to, the little one. So if you want me to ask her certain questions about that and what the director did and all that kind of stuff, then you're going to have to call her and get the paper so that you can sign it. But she knows me. You know that. My son is nonverbal. We decided to forego pre-K and start ABA last summer, and it made a huge difference. My son also, yeah. So your question, all right, I guess it's somewhere down here. What's your question? It cut off. I'm missing it. It just says my question and then it stops. Okay, so Kim, when your child is done with the evaluations that the school has done, when you have received their report for the evaluations, is there a site that you can go look to see how they evaluated the test they have administered? How they evaluated the test. You mean what the test looks like, so that you can see the type of questions that were asked and things like that, so that you can understand how the test is done and what they look for, or any info. Okay, so here's the thing. I was just talking about this, and I think I told you guys here on live twice that I spoke with a doctor who in Texas, she has even written certain assessments, not for Pearson, but she's written certain assessments. She was very knowledgeable. I will say I went into that meeting with a closed head and closed eyes and, closed heart, but, she did know her stuff, and she did explain things better than what was explained in the meeting. And she did show me the, let me see if I can post this. She did show me the evaluations in the way I wanted them to be shown to me. When they said, oh, we don't do that. We don't show that. We can't do that. Bullshit. The hell you can't. All right. You're going to show it to me. And she said, yeah, we actually can show it to you. So hold on. Let me get a picture. A good one for you. All right, you guys are going to like this. All right, I'm going to send it to my computer. All right. All right. Let me just make sure the child's name is on it. Not that mom cares, she doesn't, but I just wanted to. I have all parents who don't mind if things are shown, or if, say, I forgot to, in my redaction, I didn't redact everything, because there's so many times their names are, I have parents sign if they're okay with it. So let me show you. Hold on. Let me go to share my screen. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is an evaluation that was done. And what pissed me off, all right. Hold on. Let me get out of this again. All right. I want to move this. Okay. So what pissed me off in the meeting, all right. So this is the KT. I think this is either the KTA or the wyatt. All right. I think it's the KTA. This district actually did all the evaluations I wanted them to do. And I was pissed off in the meeting. I mean, I was so pissed off that I just stopped listening. I told Mom, I said, I'm done. I'm not listening to this anymore. We talked about this before the meeting. We're doing an IEE. I'm done. Because all they showed was this set standard score of 88, 98, 94, all those. All right. And then the confidence interval. So these two right here. Can you see my arrow? Hi, Pete. Welcome, but we're not talking about anything that you could really participate in. I'm sorry. It's US-based IEPs and 504s and special education. But I know you guys have some amazing stuff out there in the UK for that. Okay, so they just gave standard scores and confidence intervals. Okay. That didn't tell me anything. All right. And then all of this over here, the descriptive category, I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't ever pay any mind to it. It means nothing. Nothing. I'll tell you, the percentile is actually quite important. Even though it's not solely your child. Okay? It is where your child falls out of 100, okay, in order to get this, okay? But these two don't correlate, okay? So this, the average, below average, all that, comes when your child is between a certain number in order to, so for example, let me see if I took a picture of it. Hang on. Because the numbers will say, okay, like between 85 and 113 is average, or, you know, under 85 is below average, you know, so they have all of those different things. I don't know if I got a picture of it. Yeah, I didn't get a picture of that part. Yeah, I didn't. I wish I did, but I can grab it. I do have different things with it, but basically, so this number of a standard score of 88, 98, whatever, all right, comes from where in the test it'll say between this and this number, your child's average. Between this and this number, your child's below average. Between this and this number, your child is, you know, whatever it says that, you know, just below, like not the below average. It says different things. And then, you know, there is above average, et cetera, if they're between these numbers, right? So that's what the standard score means. All right. And the percentile is based on 100. Now, these scores, as you see right here in this group and this category, reading comprehension, composite, word recognition, comprehension, math, okay, are all average. And there's another assessment that he did, and I can actually send it to you, send it here, that was the opposite of what that showed. And I knew that he was not good in that area and was not average in any way, shape, or form. All right. So this average, okay, of reading comprehension, okay, so what was explained and shown while we were on the screen, because you can be shown all of these things, Kim, in the meeting, and they can share their screen. Okay. So for example, if your child, if you say, I want to see the test, and they send the test home, and it's the KTA, wyatt, WISC, whatever, they can never give that assessment to your child again. You don't want that, okay? Because then you physically have the test, okay? But they can go over it with you online or in person, and I like it online, all right? And you're able to see what it is that is being asked of them, okay? Many is 2 questions or just a couple questions, and they have to, within 5 seconds, say the answer, okay? So that's that, rapid recall. And, then whatever it is that they're answering the question to. So it could be a reading question or whatever, a math question, etc. And, it's very small things, believe it or not. So, and a lot of the scoring is good, and it's where we need to go with it to get those really solid present levels, but also in hearing what the teacher's saying. I will tell you straight up, those benchmarks like Ames Web and iReady and all of those, I'm just not even going to say anything. Here's what I would do with it. Let me show you. Can I do this? Okay. Now hold on. I'm going to tell you what to do with it. I'm going to show you. When you get those in the email, this is what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. Because especially when you're advocating and you're asking how your child's doing, they're going to shove those things in your face real quick. Happens every time. I could bet $1 million that if I'm asking for data on a child after I'm going after them for reading or compensatory services or whatever it is because they failed the child, all of a sudden I get an Ames Web or I'm ready benchmark test or something, and he's gone up 2 grade levels or 2 letters, which is fontis and pinell, and you guys know how I feel about that. All right, the 2 ladies that created fontis and pinell created it to be given in a certain way, and it's very high on the phonics area, which is good, but reading should not be solely focused on phonics. But it's not a bad program. The problem is when the program is taken to the schools, they are trained by someone within that program, okay? Just like Pearson teaches assessors at the school how to give their assessment with fidelity and in the right way. Hopefully they do. And, the same thing with benchmarks. But that's not what's happening with the benchmarks. Here's what's happening. Your kid's sitting at the computer doing the benchmark assessment. They didn't do good. Okay, do it again. Okay, you're going to do it again tomorrow. You got to do it again. And then they send you the good grade. That's what they're doing. And they're sending you the things that you're not supposed to see. Okay, I'm going to do a live on that. I'll do an Ames Web, and then I'll do like Alexia. I'll do an iReady, and I'll show you, because I've talked with companies and done video with them of them showing you the whole program and everything and how it works, and then what you're supposed to get in regards to seeing where that child is. So I will go over that, and I'll do a whole thing with you on it so that you can be aware of when that's sent to you. And you see, the ones I get, my God, I'll tell you, they say, what does it say? 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. I have one that's all 100%. I'm like, well, damn, he must not have any issues with that. Funny, he's on a 3rd grade level and he's in 9th grade, but something doesn't make sense. There's a disconnect somewhere. Something's kind of shady. What is it? And that's why I go at it with schools, because I catch all that stuff. All right. So if you're delivered a progress report that says, here's the goal that you already have in the IEP anyway. And then it says, okay, mastered, proficient, working towards goal. They say all kinds of different things. Hasn't started yet, all those things. Proficient, working towards goal, almost meeting goal. But what does that tell you? Does that tell you anything? Oh, they're working on the goal. Oh, okay, cool. When, why, how, where, what are you doing? Where's the data? Data, can you attach the data here? Here, I will give you a stapler so that you can click that data to that progress report. That's what I want. I don't want to hear sufficient, doing well, making progress, making progress, making progress, making progress, making progress. You can tell me everything. You can tell me whatever you want. I'm not going to believe it until you show it to me. It's nothing against you. It's not personal. I want to see the data. I want to see it. And one of the things, guys, too, that I used to do is I signed a form. I mean, my school district I didn't play with them. And they knew I was not playing. So I would have them record it. Oh, okay, my child's doing this. Okay, cool. Record it for me. Record it a couple times. Show me. And I'm going to know if you prompted my kid. So show me 3 or 4 times. I want to see it. If she doesn't do it right, I want to see that too. I'm not going to blame you for that. I want to see it. Because if my child mastered it, that means my child can do it with me, with you, with the next door neighbor, with the staff members all over the school. If my child can't do it across all settings, she didn't master it. So if she mastered it with you, awesome. Now you got to get her to do it across all settings. Okay. So when you're just given 2 of these scores, you cannot come up with something. You can't even see a picture. All right. That percentile rank is important. Seeing those average areas, the scores are a little higher. All right. But they, only 2 of them are right. Is it 2? Oh my God. 1, 2, 3. 3 of them are near that 50% mark, which is average. Okay. Because it's out of 100. All right. But I know for sure the student had letter and word recognition. But comprehension, hell no. He memorized that because he doesn't have it. And it's in his present level, so they knew it too. And it was in another assessment, which is why, let me try to pull it up. I think I have it right here. Can you guys see on my files? Let me stop. All right, so let me find this. You guys are gonna like this one. Here it is. This is my other favorite. All right, this is the Wyatt, and the Wyatt 4 is now out. Okay, so the Wyatt is my new real favorite because the Wyatt covers all of these things that I want. Okay, so Pearson created the Wyatt. Okay, and the Wyatt 3 is 11 years old. All right. But the Wyatt and the KTEA are amazing assessments. Okay. And these are the new things, and it shows you the comparison. All right. So we're 11 years. All right. And then you have the administration, paper, pencil. And there's a digital library, scoring, and then new automated scoring for essay composition, which I think is awesome. You have 16 subtests. Now there's 20. All right. And the new is everything that we need in regards to reading. Phonemic proficiency, the sounds, orthographic fluency, which is all reading, decoding fluency, sentence writing fluency, orthographic choice. All right, now you move on to here and you look at the 3 core academic composites, the 2 processing composites, Then you have the new orthographic processing, the phonological processing, the reading fluency, the writing fluency, the basic reading. All of those are new. What's even better is the dyslexia index measures are now included. And this is something that the schools are not showing you. Then you have all of these different things in regards to clinical studies. And then, of course, the assessments. Okay. And the Wyatt 3 and the new KTA 3. So the KTA 3 is newer. All right. So the 4 should always be given. The Wyatt 3 is now expired. Can it be given? Yes. But a form has to be filled out of why it's being given. And I don't know exactly everything that's in the form, but I know a form has to be filled out, is what Pearson had said. So if the 3 is done, because one of the things you need to look at is it's 11 years old. It's kind of like a computer. After a certain period of time, it's just doesn't do its job anymore. Doesn't mean it was bad, because the computer lasted you years and years, but it means that it's time for something new so that we can have the better. And so if that is being given, you want to know why. Okay. So I love that right there. All right. So in going through maybe a couple more, I already sucks. You stated reading my comment and then started reading. Yeah, because it ended, Cynthia. It stopped. So it said, so it ended. Like it cut off your question. So here, I'll show you. So see my question, and then there's nothing. So I moved on because I didn't know what the question was. And I said, I don't know the question. Okay. So the Wyatt 4 came out, I want to say like a year ago. Yeah, 2020, a year ago. Yeah. I was just going to say, I think a year ago, but it came out a year ago. So yeah. So that should be given. All right. And, yeah. And make sure that the automated scoring is happening. Okay. That is important. Okay. All right. So let's look at some of y'all's questions. Kim, hopefully that answered. It would be interesting to see what his scores will be. I spoke with the psychologist the other day, and she said how well he had done. And believe me, she said he didn't do it or couldn't last time. The only reason why she called is to ask a question before the second test. Would she ask? That's what I'm looking for. The information that it is testing, what is actually looking for. Well, that's not everything it's looking for that I showed you on that form. Hold on. Oh, that's not you? Oh. Well, shit. Okay, so I was answering someone. So maybe you can tell me who you are. So yours, Cynthia, it ends at she. And then I'm scrolling. Then there's this one. And then, hi, Christina. Yeah, so that's all I have. Yep, that's it. So it ended at she. And then the next thing you said was many of the evaluations. And then the next thing you said was I mixed you up like you just told me. And then you said you started reading my comment. And then that's all I got. So I didn't know how to answer the she. But a school system is supposed to teach a child. Here, I'll put that up again. A school system is supposed to teach a child in the way that they learn, if they figure it out. And as far as the SPED director and Linda Moodbell, like I said, I have to talk to them in reference to that because I'm not understanding everything with that. And honestly, the only thing that crosses my mind is, I'm assuming because, that's a compensatory thing that she's watching what's happening so that she can come up with what they need to do so that they can get rid of it. And so, we should have this or that or whatever. If he makes progress where he is, it's a little too late at that point because we can't take him out of somewhere that he's making progress. That just can't happen because you didn't make progress. So your time is up. I'm glad you figured it out, though. I am. I'm glad they figured it out. That doesn't mean they can't implement. They can implement it because they very clearly showed that they could not. So I'm glad she figured it out, but nobody else did. And the important people didn't figure it out. She's not the important people. And so knowing this person, it's her way of, we should have done that, this, the other. Yeah. Just my thoughts. It's her way of trying to get out of doing what they're doing right now because he's more than likely making progress. And they're trying to say, we can do that. I'm glad we know that now. No, he's making progress where he is. Sorry. You had your chance. That's what I'd say. That's exactly what I would say. You had your chance. Sorry. All right. Hey, Christina, send me that picture. But Kim, as far as the assessment, like what I showed, you can see that. Here, let me pull it back up again so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Don't forget, if you're just joining, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time texting me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. I was not going to stay on here this long. It was just for the group, but it is what it is. Yeah, Pearson sends me all of their stuff, and one of the things I loved getting was this. Is what I was showing earlier. All right. So I love that. So we were talking about this. All right, the Wyatt 4 earlier. And then we're also talking about this. So that you guys understand all of the scoring. And this district right here try to say, we can't show all of that scoring. Come again? Yes, you can. You can. It's the child scores. The parents have a right to see that. Everybody has a right to see that. Don't let them tell you they can't show you everything. Bullshit. The only thing that you can't have, as in take it home, okay, is the test booklet. Manual, test book, whatever. Because then they can't, you can have it, but your child can never be given that assessment again. And you don't want that, especially if it's a good assessment. Because I like to have the KTEA done Wyatt and some others. And then, like a year and a half later, do it again and see what we come up with. Was there progress? Was there not? What happened? Another question you need to ask is, that's important, is with these assessments, a lot of people fail to realize that the assessments can be given to a age span. All right. So let's just hypothetically say, or let's look at the wyatt. It said right there. We'll look at that. We'll just go with that number. All right. So with the wyatt, what does it say? It says that it can be given to children. I don't know why it says 4.0 to 550.11. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's a big span. So, other assessments can be given to 3 to 5-year-olds. Some assessments can be given to 7 to 11-year-olds. You always want to know the span in which the assessment can assess. All right. So if it can be given to, let's just say, hypothetically, a 7 to an 11-year-old, okay, that's a 5-year difference, right? Bad at math. So 5-year difference. So the first question I want to know, what grade level did you give this assessment in? What grade, what age did you give this assessment in? Because if they can't do it at a 5th grade level, what'd you do? They came down levels, grade levels, and assessed them where they could be assessed in that gap of age. You want to know that. You want to know that. Okay? Then, okay, you can look at this. And make a little bit of sense. Oh, that's why I know he's not good at reading comprehension. But for some crazy reason, they're saying he's average, even though, by the way, out of 100, 50 is average. We'll let it slide. All right. That's why he's average. Now it makes sense. He wasn't given, the assessment on a 5th grade level. He was given the assessment on a 1st grade level. Oh, makes perfect sense. All right. All right. Let me see if there's a couple more questions. All right. Here's a question, y'all. I'll share my screen again. And then I want to get off here. I've been on here for a while. All right. All right. Vanessa, quick question. My son has an IEP. Beginning of February, I signed a consent for a reevaluation due to the need for hearing support. Evaluation was done February 14th. Do they have 60 days to return the report to me? My understanding was that if it's a reevaluation, the time frame is much shorter. Maybe I'm wrong. She's wrong. I want to see his comments. You have 60 days from the time we sign assessment. That's technically not true. In my state, schools have 45 calendar days. All right, so let me wake everybody up. Technically speaking, you're going to hate me for this. Oh, you're going to hate me. Technically speaking, they don't have a time frame. It's a reasonable time frame. The initial evaluation is 60 days or 65 days. Or in this lady's case, she says 45 days or something in her comment. So, I don't know if why would they wait to give it to you if they're done? It's kind of stupid. And she's in PA, no wonder, because they suck. PA, Pennsylvania, Illinois, New York. Pennsylvania, Illinois, New York. New Jersey doesn't know what to do with me. But Pennsylvania, New York, Illinois, and then some of the southern states, Louisiana. They're just a bunch of idiots, honestly, at this school district I'm dealing with. Like, no joke. They just are. I mean, she even tried to quote their own state law and couldn't even quote it right and didn't know how to read it. And so I had to correct her in the quote that she used and the number of the law. And I mean, I'm sure it was very humiliating for her. So the answer to your question, Vanessa, is no. They don't have 60 days to return the report to you if they're done. All right, because somehow you found out that they were done and you are an equal team member, so you have a right to that evaluation. Now, technically, an IEP is supposed to be set up if the evaluation's done and they are carelessly waiting 60 days when it's done and you know it's done and they told you it was done. And they're, because obviously the beginning of February and it was done February 14th. So that's 2 weeks. And if they're going to wait another, 45 days or something until they have a meeting with you, that's irresponsible and not appropriate. And that is not in the interest of the student, especially when the student needs hearing support, meaning that can become an OCR violation. It can become a violation of his rights and ADA related and be discrimination against a student who has hearing needs and is supposed to just read lips until something happens? Like, what the hell? I mean, how do they even wrap their heads and sleep at night with that stuff? So I would demand a meeting immediately. I would demand that you take action in regards to having a meeting at minimum, within the next, or at maximum in the next 14 days. And that you be given that evaluation immediately. Now, technically by law, school districts, and this is this isn't my law, this is their law, okay? Because IDEA leaves it up to the districts because they say a reasonable time frame. And so they leave it up to the states and, not districts, the states. And like California is 5 days in advance. Certain states are 5 days in advance. Certain states are 3 and certain states are 2. So it's 5, 3, 2. All right, find out what your state is. My sucky state is 2. But they always send it to me before then. There are ways around that. All right, so if you have, like most people in the freaking United States, if you have anxiety, if you have PTSD, if you have memory issues, if you have anything that falls under ADA guidelines as a disability, and that your doctor will write you a note that you have a lot of anxiety, and there's no way in 2 days that you'd be able to review an evaluation that gives you so much anxiety, because it would just be too much for you. And, as a parent, you already have so much going on, and, we don't want you to be stressed out, and, the school shouldn't want you to be stressed out. So you need to, have way more than 2 days in advance, because your mental health is so much more important, so we need to write a letter about that. And we need to, doctors will write a letter about that in a heartbeat. So we need to get the doctor to write a letter, because, our anxiety is just too much. It's giving me too much anxiety and I can't handle it anymore. And I need to be able to participate as an equal team member in my child's school. And I just can't, read an evaluation in 2 days. It's just too much for me. Okay. Let me respond to her. Regarding the, what was it? Timeline. It technically. was her name? Vanessa Gary. Okay. I know you guys saw me write that out, so you saw the answer. Okay. So this can very easily become an OCR and discriminatory violation, because if a child cannot hear or there are hearing issues, it is treating that child differently than other children who are within the classroom who can hear. And now this child is having to struggle to hear in order to be able to do their work and so on and so forth. And then the school did the evaluation within 2 weeks and then wants to wait a full 60 days when they're done with the evaluations to show the mother the evaluation and hold an IEP meeting in order to meet that child's needs. Total discriminatory action, total shittiness on the school district, and they should be ashamed of themselves for even considering doing that. And kudos to them to do it within 2 weeks. You should have immediately wanted to meet with the child's parents to discuss this evaluation and to immediately have the child accommodated when it comes to hearing. You kind of got to hear to be able to do your work. So in my mind, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't that impact their education? The problem here? I think a 5-year-old would know that. All right, here's another question, then I'm done. I'm wondering if anyone knows if there's a law or regulation on the time frame that a public school has to complete an IQ achievement testing psychological evaluation done by the school, not from outside providers, for a student who already has an IEP and which has been requested by the parent for about a year. We are in North Carolina, if that makes a difference. What? Yes, they have to respond to you. It's 15 days. And yeah, they got to respond to you. So we got a problem here. So, we need to address this problem immediately. And 10 days is technically, it's 15 days. Okay, it's 15 days. All right. Hold on. I'll get it for you. All right. I had to pull up all my crap, guys. Okay, on my phone, it's difficult to pick up Google Drives. All right. All right, so I actually have the exact answer for you because schools are different. It's 10 to 15 days. Isn't that what I said? Sometimes it's 10 days, but normally it's 15. You are in North Carolina. In your state, hold on. I'm going to actually put this in. I have so many PDFs, guys. It's disgusting. I should create a book. All right, here it is. It's 10 days. 10 days. So it's 10 days. They have to get back to you. and respond back to you in North Carolina. Pennsylvania is 10 days as well. So what's her name? Looking at the wrong thing. Here it is. Lily. Oh, shit. I think it's this one. All right. Is that right, y'all? No. So she's the author. Yeah. Okay. All right, you guys saw me write it. Off it goes. All right. Okay. So, all right. So let's get out of here. Okay, so you guys had a lot of answers today. That's cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you for sending that to me. All right. All right, Cynthia, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Kim. Bye, Millie. Bye, Christina. Bye, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, getting some of your questions answered. And I will be doing this once a week. And I promise that now because, my membership's just finally getting done. All right. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow and talk more about ADHD and a lot of the things that you need to look out for of where needs are the highest. All right. And this is for actually, it's a generalized thing that, all children are different, but there's certain things that have actually kind of stayed the same with this. So we're going to look at that and we're going to go forward and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about what you can do. And we're going to talk about the things that you can request and make sure that your child gets so that you can get your child everything that's needed and appropriate. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.